It's Fireball Friday, folks. Let's get after it. Welcome to the SavageMine YouTube channel. If this is your first time here and you want to learn more about crypto mining and crypto related projects, you can get an almost daily dose of it right now by clicking on the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss out on anything in the future. Also, you should follow me on Twitter. I don't know what's going on over there today, but it's I don't know. It's Twitter. It's crypto Twitter. But I do keep you updated on what's going on with this YouTube channel, and sometimes I run polls and things like that to help decide what we'll be looking at on the live stream. So it's interactive, and your interaction may actually help determine what we look at that night on the channel, so on the YouTube channel, on the live stream. So it's kind of back and forth, kind of cool. Let's take a quick look at what I am mining over here on the NVIDIA rig at the house, or I'm sorry, on the rigs at the house. Here I've got the NVIDIA rig on Raven right now, and that's because of what we're going to be talking about a little bit later with the forking to X16R version 2 and all that stuff. And then the AMD rig is still mining Rio and Monero. Rio with the GPUs and Monero with the CPU. And you know, obviously it's super low hash rate because this is actually a Pentium 4400. But and yeah, Raven, I was only mining this just today, just a little while, just to look at some things for tonight's live stream. So that's what that's about. And then on the shared rigs, we are still mining CCX over there. We have been since March. Still doing okay. This rig is all right. I don't know. I've talked about this before. I don't know why it goes to 0. It shows 0 in the console, but if you check it on the pool and everything's fine with it. So for whatever reason, it just goes to 0 sometimes on the display here. So let's take a quick look at the market. It actually did a little bit of a turnaround today. It was kind of bad earlier, and then it kind of turned around. So that's good to see. Don't know where it's going, but you know, no one really does, I don't think. Looks like the ASICs are dumping Raven right now because Raven was actually up about 10% today, I believe. Maybe even more than that if I remember right. Anyway, so it looks like we're getting dumped on again there. And I asked somebody about this because Rio here shows 13 cents, and that is not right because it's only, I think it's just a decimal place in the wrong place because it should be 0.13 most likely, because it is not 13 cents. I wish it was. Let's check it out real quick here. Yeah, see, it's 0.1. It's under 2 cents. So I don't know why it's like that, but maybe it's looking at the wrong project or something. I don't know. AION's up a little bit, looking pretty good there. Okay, great. This is just a quick look. We'll go through each one in the on CoinMarketCap here. So let's look at CCX. CCX is up 15, almost 16%. That's cool. Good to see. Raven, we already looked at. Actually, this is showing it as up. That's kind of funny. This over here is showing it as down. Interesting. One of them is lagging. Yeah, this one, like I was saying, this was up. It was up earlier. So let's look at swap. Down just a tad. Then you got Rio, which we already looked at. Gliding around even there. Loki, haven't looked at Loki today. Don't know what's going on there. They're even as well. Zell, don't know what's going on with them today. Okay, up a little bit. Good to see. Veil. Veil's up 7%, not bad. Arrow, it's not on here. And then BitCash. down a little bit. They've been struggling a little bit. They spent a lot of time around 6 cents, and then they went down to 3, and then now they're struggling to get back to 3. And then AION was up 10%. Okay, good job AION. Still under 7 cents though. But let's see here. If there's something else you want me to look at, just throw it into the chat over there real quick. I'll check the chat real quick, see who all is in here. What's up, Crypto Mikkel? What's up, YouTube watcher? Thanks for stopping in and checking it out. Just a quick reminder, none of my videos are sponsored in any way. It's just me chatting about the projects that I'm interested in, and that's it. So all I do is I press go live and start ranting about stuff. So that's all this is. I'm not sponsored by any means or stretch of the imagination at all. Tonight, since it's Fireball Friday, I don't really have like a solid topic, but I figured that we would cover some of the news and happenings in the crypto space tonight and just have some fun, you know. And one thing that kind of dawned on me, and some people probably are going to laugh about this, but it was a simple way, and I'm sure that other content creators have probably covered this in the past, but it just kind of hit me for some reason today. If you're thinking about the power of your mining rigs and the consumption and the cost and all that stuff, I realized that it would be super simple if you just used a simple example would be 1,000 watts. In the US, our average is roughly 10 cents per kilowatt hour residential. So if you said that your rig was 1,000 watts, or it consumed 1,000 watts, and you're paying 10 cents per kilowatt hour, that's 10 cents per hour. So that is $2.40 a day, or $72 a month. But my point is that if you just kind of calculate that out with 1,000 watts, 10 cents, you know, then you can get to the final value pretty quickly, at least in a roundabout way. Because my rigs, I mean, most of them are like my 6 GPU NVIDIA rig is about 830 watts, something like that, I think. And then obviously it depends on what you're mining and stuff, but I keep mine tuned pretty far down to where they're pretty power efficient. So I don't even have a rig, I don't think, that is at 1,000 watts exactly, but I'm just saying as a general way of thinking about it, it makes it pretty simple. So basically, you know, if you're anywhere close to, well, and at the same time, let's say you were at 900 watts, but you're paying 11 cents per kilowatt hour like me, then that's still 10 cents per hour, right? So it still works out. So it just depends on what you're paying per hour. I thought that was kind of an easy way of thinking about it. And as far as what is going on today, you know, there's a lot going on with Ravencoin, obviously, and I did a video on Ravencoin earlier this week. I think it was earlier this week. Yeah, September 24th. And this was about the Ravencoin fork to X16R v2. There's a little bit of controversy with it, you know, devs and community, and you know, basically looking at it as though it's mainly just a band-aid to a larger problem, and we're just going to have to do this all over again in a few months, you know, and that kind of thing. And I tend to agree. I think that just throwing I think it's a Tiger 192 algo in there. There's like 3. It'll be thrown in there 3 times. Before a few of the other algos. It was like Kesak and Tribus or something, I don't know. It's in there basically mixed in, and you know, I don't think that it'll be that long before they can like, some of the ASICs are somewhat programmable, from what I understand. So not like an FPGA totally, but they've made it a little bit easier to update the firmware, whatever you want to, however you want to say it. And if that's the case, then I can see them moving, you know, being able to hop on X16R v2 faster than you would think, right? So I do think that we will be revisiting this issue again sooner than we think. So But yeah, I did this video here. It's got some details on it. I think it was like 51 minutes long, but it's got some details about the whole fork and what we have to do as miners and stuff like that. So check that out. Check that out. They are supposed to fork at 12 Eastern Standard Time this coming Tuesday, October 1st. And I've actually thought about maybe live streaming it, like looking at the hash rate and refreshing and watching it drop, hopefully to a reasonable level, you know, like earlier last year or earlier this year, before the ASICs hit the network. But I don't know. I've kind of speculated that it might go down to in the 6 terahash range, but I don't know. I really don't know. I don't think anybody does for sure, but should be pretty cool. There is one project that is already using x16R v2, and there's going to be one more before Tuesday, before Ravencoin actually forks. There's going to be basically 2 kind of well-known projects that are going to be using the algo ahead of time. One of them is Pexa, and Crypto Mikkel, actually, he's in here, I think, and he actually did a video on this today, I believe. I want to say that it was posted today, talking about mining Pexa. And I don't know anything about this project at all. He talked about it a little bit on his video, so I'm not really going to rehash that. But point is that you can actually use this project to test out the x16R v2 algorithm on your hardware, right? So you can kind of play around with it, see what your hash rates are going to be, see what your settings need to be, your overclocks. And from my experience so far, it seems like the overclocks that you use for Ravencoin work pretty well for x16R. Those overclocks seem to work really well with x16R v2, which is not really a surprise. You know, it's not that much of a different algorithm. So yeah, those settings seem to work pretty well from what I can tell. If you go to the miningpoolstats.stream on Pexa, or you look up Pexa, you can see like I guess it's a pretty new project, and you know, because of that, there's very few miners on it. Not very many people are mining it. Huge amount of hash rate here on BSOD pool. So I mean, but if it's something you want to play around with, this is one that you could look at mining for and using the x16R v2 algorithm. So kind of neat. And if you want to look at his video, Crypto Mikkel, I did a pretty good screenshot there, right? I didn't get you making some crazy face or anything, so that worked out pretty well. But yeah, this is a video they did. Was it today? Yep, it was today, earlier today. So check this out, because he talks about Pexa coin and mining it on HiveOS and Windows. So pretty cool. Not that long of a video, so it works out pretty well. He goes over all the settings, and again, he talks about the project a little bit more, so I'm not going to talk about the project again. I don't know that much about it. So that is his video. And on the NVIDIA side, as far as the fork and what miners are actually supporting it, on the NVIDIA side, you have T-Rex, one of the more popular, definitely probably one of the most popular x16R mining software. And it's efficient, and this one is going to support x16R v2 version 2 on NVIDIA, and the newest version is 14.4, so it's 0.14.4, and that's the one that has all the neat little switches in there for automatically switching and converting over to the new algorithm, and we'll get into that in a minute. And Crypto Mikkel actually got into it on his, I believe. I think he got into that on his video. But you can see right here, x16R v2 is supported. So we'll go to releases here, and I think that we'll have a little bit more information in here. Yeah, so 14.4 there. So it adds the ability to auto switch the algorithm using the new parameter, which is fork at. So you can see it right here. So there's a parameter that you can add to your miner option string that says fork at, and then you add in this other information here because this is your time, right? The time that the fork is actually going to occur and what algorithm you want to switch to. So this forces the miner to change the algorithm on a predefined condition. That's what the forcat does. There's the time condition, and the time is in UTC. You could also use a block condition. I think that's on here as well. Maybe not. So there's different conditions. You could do the block or the time, but in this case, because it's going to be a specific time that it's going to switch to x16R v2, then you would use the UTC time method. And if you wanted to change the, if let's say that your pool is actually changing the port, which hopefully not many of them do. Hopefully most of them are just going to keep on rocking with the same port. But I've seen some talking like they're going to have a different port for this new x16R v2 algorithm. So you can specify the port as well, and it looks like, actually we'll probably get into that in a minute. I'll show you what it actually. Oh, right here. Here we go. So this is what it looks like. You would just put, after the algorithm x16R v2, you would put the colon and then then the port number. So that would get you you only need this if the pool that you're mining to is going to change the port as well as the algorithm. But if they're going to use the same port, then you don't really have to worry about that. And in order for the miner to automatically switch to mining x16R v2 at the time, there's some things that you have to make sure of. And one of them is that you have to make sure that the miner T-Rex, I'm specifically talking about T-Rex, there is the Enemy 2.2, I think, that also supports x16R v2, but I'm going to focus on T-Rex because it's the most popular. But it needs to be launched to where it is in watchdog mode, so you won't use or don't use the no watchdog parameter, because if you do that, then the settings won't take. It's not going to automatically convert over to the other algorithm, the new algorithm v2. It will just stay on however it is if you turn the watchdog parameter off. Also, something that people often overlook that needs to be done is your system clock has to be synchronized with the time server. So you're going to want to make sure that your time on whatever asset, whatever system that you're mining on is accurate. It needs to be pretty accurate for this to work seamlessly, right? In order for you to do it on Windows, obviously you would just make sure that your time is correct on Windows, and as long as you haven't messed with it too much, it probably will be accurate, or, unless maybe your BIOS battery is weak or bad or whatever. But just make sure that your time is correct on Windows if you are mining from Windows. And if you're mining from like Simple Mining or HiveOS, you're going to want to make sure that those rig times are accurate as well. And there's actually a way that you can check it. If you go to if you SSH into the rig, whether it's HiveOS or Simple Mining. I'm just going to start the shell on HiveOS just to show. So once you're SSH'd into the rig, then you would type in time, date, CTL, and press enter, and you're going to get the time, whatever the time the rig thinks it is, right? And I think in this case, this was accurate, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. So I do have a rig that is way off time. I think the battery, the BIOS battery is bad or something. But it doesn't matter because I'm not mining Raven on it, and I'm not going to have to worry about this setting right now. But that's how you can check real quick to see if your clock is accurate and if things are going to work well. on that particular rig. You can do the same thing on simple mining. Let's see, I can probably show you. Let's see here. Yeah, this is the one that was way off, but it's okay. Yeah, so this one would not work. It would not work properly if I was mining Raven and wanted to auto switch it, you know, at the right time. This is not going to work. Let me check the chat, see what you guys are yapping about over there. What is going on, everybody? Thanks for stopping in and checking out the stream. I appreciate it. All right, so I guess what we can do, that's kind of all I was going to kind of look at. I mean, there's some other things after this, but I was going to maybe, let's see, what can we do? I would imagine that we can probably, I wonder if we can play around with, because the HiveOS has the T-Rex 14.4 in here. So I'm thinking that we might be able to at least look at the parameter and get it in there and see. I mean, obviously we're going to be way ahead of where we need to be, but I think I'm wondering if you can put it down here, because this is going to be a little bit trial and error here, but let's go ahead and copy this over here. I got my note here that I've got what we need in there. So I think what we're going to have to do, let me think about this for a second, because let's see here. Oh, and I had to get a new bottle because I was out. All right, I think I'm on my third drink. I don't know, maybe second. All right, I'm gonna go to their forum because I want to see. I don't know if I have their miner downloaded on Windows so I can kind of play around with it. I want to see how we can edit this. I think what we can do, I don't know if this will work or not. I think that this is going to be right though. And then what I'll do is once, see, I think that, okay, so it's configuring it now, and what I should be able to do, I think you can go to the miner config up here and actually see the string. I don't know how T-Rex does it in HiveOS though. I don't know if it's using the config file or the actual miner option string. Yeah, it's using the config.json, so see here. But just looking at this, I think that's right. I think that this would actually work, because you see how I put it in there in the flight sheet, and now it does match all the other settings, right? Like the syntax matches all the other settings. So I'm thinking that that is going to work just fine like that. So if I were to leave this rig on Ravencoin, then most likely it will switch over at the right time and everything. But you know, we would need to go and look at Raven Miner if that's the pool I was going to use. So we would go to, let's go to Raven Miner. Then we would go wallet. Okay, so we need to go and grab my wallet. Just want to see if it's got some info in here. And it does. Okay, great. Yeah, you can see I haven't been mining it very long. It's just a little bit today. So I guess what I need to ask or find out here is if they are going to be on the same pool, or I'm sorry, the same port. I don't see. Yeah, I don't see where they're saying that it's going to change, so I'd imagine it's going to be the same for them. But that's something that you would want to verify with whatever pool you're gonna be using. Now it's acting like that didn't work, because now it's not. Got it here. Yeah, something's not right. It's not showing me any Ravencoin stuff there, so maybe that setting is breaking it. Maybe it's not right, or maybe I just need a reboot. What's up, Red Panda? What's up, David Perez? Boss Shosh. I can never say your name, sorry. Boss, I'll just say boss. Oh, is Bitcoin Jake in here too? Hey, what's up, man? Everybody's in here. Everybody is in here. Yeah, can't use fork at, which is, all right, so. So there, it must have no watchdog in there. Okay, see, that was a good test. See, it's not working because it's coded. It looks like they coded it to where you have to put no watchdog in there, or you need to take that out, right? The no watchdog. So it looks like I didn't see that in the settings here for the flight sheet. So let's go and check that out. Well, it's definitely not in here. Okay, so now I'll probably have to, let's go, what I want to look at is minor config again. So we're looking for no watchdog true. See right here? So what that tells me is how can I modify that? Because I'm not modifying the config.json whenever I do these configs down here in the flight sheet. I think what I'll have to do, okay, so by default, it is setting the no watchdog parameter. So how can I tell it to use the watchdog? I don't know. Never had to do that before. Maybe oh, wait a minute. It said true, right? Hang on a second, because it did say true. Oh, no watchdog true. Okay, so no watchdog needs to be false. Okay, so I had the setting wrong. All right, let's see here. Okay, so let's see if that changes it. Fireball time. See, doing this is much easier on simple mining. Okay, so right now it looks like, see now it says no watchdog false, which is what we want. All right, so let's see if it's actually mining here. Doesn't look like it. Can't start miner, value is not convertible to Boolean, I would imagine. Okay. Anybody got any ideas? Because that is a different error though. Maybe this is real-time troubleshooting stuff here. Aha! Did y'all see what that was? So whenever I had done this, I was kind of following what the other settings were initially, the syntax and stuff. But it looks like what you would do is, because it's basically a 1 or a 0, and that's what kind of led me to think that it was that I had quotation marks around false, because it sees it, it probably reads this and turns it in, just like most anything else, it turns it into a 1 or a 0. And that error that we got was, what did it say, Boolean, basically couldn't turn it into Boolean, right? Or it said BOOL, and I kind of figured that that's what it meant, was Boolean. So, you know, so I kind of got the feeling that it was simply that I had quotation marks around this. And it looks like that was it, because whenever you go to the miner config, back over here, actually I can't get there now, I'll have to do it again. So if you look at the miner config, you can see how the other values that have true or false don't have quotation marks around them. So whenever I noticed that, I was like, oh, okay, so that's probably what it is. So that's good to know information there. Okay, so now we are looking like we would be set on being prepared to switch over to X16R V2 at the right time on that particular miner or that particular pool, and everything should just rock on. I would assume that this is good settings because it's now mining, and I think that if you're actually watching it, I think it's actually supposed to come up and say something along the lines of fork has been requested at, you know, the time, and algo will be changed to X16R V2. I think it'll say that if you're watching it in the secure shell, if you're watching it SSH, whenever it actually happens. So whenever that it gets implemented, we might be able to see that. I wonder if I can just do a, see if I can do this. I do a miner restart, switch over to here. They're going to disconnect me? Yeah. Okay, so here, we might be able to see it. Yeah, boom, right here. Fork has been requested at Tuesday, October 1st, 1600 UTC. Algo will be changed to X16RV2. So this right here means that, you know, obviously the settings took and everything looks good. So that is pretty cool. Now, do you think I should continue to mine Raven between now and then? Hell no. But, you know, this, look, mostly this is just for the people that are going to want to mine it immediately, right? So probably what's going to happen is you'll have people, was that, it's 1200, it's at noon on Tuesday. So maybe like before they leave for work or the previous night or whatever, maybe they'll set up to mine Raven and then configure it like we just did, you know, configure the parameters to switch and all that stuff beforehand. I don't see a lot of people GPU mining Raven between now and then. Maybe, but I mean, I mined it for like 4 hours today or whatever, three or 4 hours today, but that was just because I knew that I was going to be doing this tonight. So all right, so that's cool stuff. So if you are going to actually download and run the miner on Windows, then you might see over here where it'll say, let's see if we get to that part. Not that, not that. It's got different CUDA versions here, and if you're wondering like what is CUDA and which one should I use, if your rig is running properly, like right now with whatever, CUDA is just it's basically a parallel computing platform, and it's like a programming model that devs can use. It's specific to NVIDIA for the most part. It's definitely designed by NVIDIA. It's developed by NVIDIA. But the devs can use it to create faster processing using the parallel capabilities of the NVIDIA architecture. Is basically, in a nutshell, that's what that is. I would kind of look at it as an architecture for programming. So you could program to actually use that capability, and that's what the different CUDA versions are. But if you've got a rig that is already mining successfully, and you can SSH into the rig and see what CUDA version it's actually using. So let's do that real quick. So if we are on this one, this is an NVIDIA rig, the one that we've been messing with tonight already, that's currently mining Raven. Looks like, wow, we've got quite a few unaccepted shares. I wonder if that's because the rig was up and running with you know, with the bad parameter in there. Maybe that's why it's got some unaccepted shares. Okay, so bring that up a little bit. So we'll just go in here and we will, actually I'm already SSH to it, but I don't want to stop the miner, so I'm just going to exit out of here. Actually, I'll do it the right way. We'll do this the right way. We will go remote access, I shall stop, and we'll let that stop. Then we will start it back up. All right, and then we're going to go to Hive Shell. We're not going to go to miner. We are actually going to type in, you know, normally like just out of habit, I would normally type in miner right here because I'd want to see what the screen, you know, what the actual miner was doing. But in this case, if you want to check what CUDA version you have, you would go NVIDIA-SMI. And then right up here at the top, you can see that what's currently being used on this rig, if it is working, then you can just rely on this to be a good version that you would download on a Windows machine. Now obviously that's kind of goofy because you wouldn't SSH into your Windows machine, but if you are on Windows, I guess you would. What would you do? I think you can go into the driver setting, like the NVIDIA driver. You would probably be able to see it in there. I don't really know exactly how to view it on Windows. Maybe Crypto Mikkel can tell us how to do that. But yeah, but this is how you could find out which one your GPUs. Now, I mean, I guess this would help if you had these GPUs that are listed right here, then you would know. But yeah, basically, if it doesn't work, you would probably grab the next lowest number down, right? Like if I was going to download this for Windows on my system, I would download the CUDA 10. CUDA 9, I think, is for much older GPUs. 9.2 might be for 10 series also, but in this case, I would grab the 10. All right, on the NVIDIA side, I'm sorry, on the AMD side of the house, as far as Ravencoin and X16R V2, it looks like Team Red Miner does have support for X16R V2 now, with their new version 0.5.9. But again, mining Raven on AMD is not very efficient. AMD is just not great at mining X16Rs. Nothing that they're doing wrong. It's just the way that the architecture is, because X16R is more core centric than memory centric. Memory algos typically run better on AMD, and core algos typically run better on NVIDIA, just in general. So there's that. And then if you want to go to simple mining, and we can do a new group for simple mining. And since we haven't done AMD, we can just do a new group for AMD over here with those settings. Now, I think, see, I've got, these are two AMD rigs, so I should be able to do this and actually create one. I don't think I have one in here already. So if you go to Team Red Miner 0.5.9, and you can see over here, should say it, yep, right there, X16R V2. Now, I don't think that this miner has the capability of auto switching. I don't think. Doesn't look like it. So, you're gonna have to manually do this one, it looks like. Maybe they'll come out with a new version that actually has the auto switching capabilities between now and then. I don't know. Might not be worth it, because again, not very many people mine Raven on AMD for sure. But if you were going to do it, we would go Team Miner, or Team Red Miner. We would use this one. right, so the algo would be, now obviously, you know, right now you would have to make it x16R if you were going to actually mine it. And then you would have to come in here and manually change it to x16R v2. And what's funny is there down here it doesn't even have the algo listed as one that it supports, but we saw that on their announcement thread over here that it does support it. So they just haven't updated this part. They being Simple Mining folks haven't updated this part down here. I think they pull this, see, they pull it from the Bitcoin Talk thread, so for whatever reason it's not updating or something. I don't know. I don't know if they have to manually do it or what, but let's see. So for algo, we would go, I mean, there's really no point of even doing this because you would just set it up basically to mine Raven as is. So if you were already mining it, then what you would have to do is you might be using an older version of Team Red Miner or another miner, not necessarily Team Red Miner, and you know, you would have to change all that over to the new one, or to this miner, and then use those configuration parameters. I don't think that there's any real reason to even go through this, unless y'all want me to. So if not, we will press on, and we are going to talk a little bit about another project that is forking to x16R v2 that is not PEXA. And the project that I'm talking about is actually BitCash. And BitCash is actually on my list of GPU mineable top 10 list, or whatever you want to call it. And they are actually going to fork as well, but they are forking tomorrow. Tomorrow at 10 UTC, so that's going to be 6 a.m. Eastern time, right? Yeah. So 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, they're going to be forking to x16R v2. But it's not just because of x16R v2, it's also because they're implementing some other things, some other cool improvements, some better privacy features, random salting for the AES encryption, and then straight from the lead developer, which is Christian Kassler, he said that one of the other features that they're going to implement is, what's happening is, you know, BitCash has BitCash dollars and BitCash itself, right? So you've got the crypto and then the stable coin that's basically on the same blockchain. Not basically, it is on the same blockchain. And you can convert in and out actually inside the wallet. So you can see that right here. You know, BitCash to BitCash dollars, dollars to, or BitCash dollars to BitCash. So you can, this is one of those projects that I talk about this a lot. I want to say I talked about it 2 nights ago about Loki. You know, if you're a business and you're accepting crypto, you really want to be able to you know, level out that volatility. You don't want someone to purchase something for a certain amount of USD value and then have the next day, before you convert that to fiat to pay your bills, you don't want it to crash and be worth, you know, 25% of what someone paid you for, right? So you need to be able to lock it up, you know, and this is basically an on-chain stable coin, I guess is the way to describe it, the BitCash dollar. And what was happening, or what they're implementing, is a safeguard to volatility. And the way it's described is, this is from Christian Kassler. He said, when you convert from BitCash to BitCash dollars and back, the blockchain will now be able to store a minimum and maximum acceptable price. The new version of the wallet, 17.19, which I don't have. That's something that I was going to do tonight. So if you go to about here, I have 17.18, so I don't have the latest version. But he said that whenever you upgrade to version 17.19, will set the price range to plus or minus 3% of the current price. This could be changed later if needed. He's just saying, like, in the future, if that's too wide of a range, then they can change it. But the important thing is that the blockchain will now be able to store that information, and if there's a large price jump that happens shortly after you sent the transaction and before it has been mined into a block, so while it's out there waiting to be mined into a block, then this mechanism will protect you so that you do not get an unacceptable price for the conversion, right? So the transaction will be removed from the mempool if the price is out of that range, and then you can either cancel the transaction or create a new one if you want, or you can wait until the price is in range again and rebroadcast the transaction. So lots of development on that side. I think that's super cool. You know, this is one of those projects I really like it. It's seems like it's got a whole lot of potential, especially on the adoption side, because they really do a lot with the interface and capabilities, and it's all geared around, you know, basically bringing traditional banking features to crypto, right? That's basically what it's for. Another thing that they're going to actually implement here in the new wallet, I believe there is I want to say there's going to be a way of printing a statement or something in here, maybe once we update it. So let's go ahead and update. I'm going to go to overview over here. Let me pull this off screen here because I want to make sure I back up first. And whenever you click on backup in here, it actually shows you a large portion of the private key, like immediately. This is something that I wish that they would implement and have, like one of those little eyeballs, you know, that you have to click to actually see the private key. Because demoing this stuff is not good whenever you just immediately click on that and it just shows you the private key, or a large portion of it anyway. So I wish that they would mask that in some way. So, all right, so I'm gonna download the file, back up my. I'm just backing up my wallet file. That's it. That is all I am doing. My .dat file. So you always want to do that, obviously, before, not obviously, but you always want to do that before you upgrade your wallet. So this looks normal here. Okay, so I'm going to close this. It is fully synced and all that stuff. It doesn't need to be, I guess, before you update, but I think I like to have things in a real steady state, an accurate state, before I start doing any kind of upgrades or anything. So I'm going to go over here and we are going to close that wallet. And we're going to download wallet over here. And I have not done this, but you can see right here is the new version is 17.19 or 0.17.19. Okay, awesome. I'm going to go to Windows here. And let me go to downloads. Just throw it in there. Oh wow, it says my disk is full. That's interesting. And it is. Let me see if I can clean something off of this thing real quick. I must have, what I probably did, or you know what happened? I bet I know what happened. Because I was messing around with that Pexa today. I bet that I might have let it do the blockchain on my local C drive. That's probably what happened. Let's see if I can find that file super fast. Oh wow, that's not it. It's not on there. Doesn't really matter. I can attack that later. I'm just trying to clean up a couple things here. Maybe I can make enough room. I think I'm back. That was weird. I think because I ran out of space, it crashed the Streamlabs OBS for the streaming, but I think it just resumed. I don't think yeah, I mean, it still got the same time and everything, so I think I'm good there. All right, so what I was doing was I was trying to clean up some space, and I think I got some space cleaned up, so I should be able to download this wallet now. Alright, so I think that worked. I'm just going to run it. Probably lose you for a second here. So all I did was I downloaded it and then I ran it as an admin. And then we're going to click install. I don't need to download the bootstrap files. It's like basically a copy of the blockchain. You could do that and it would be a little bit faster than if you were just to sync everything online, right? But I don't need to do that because I was fully synced already. So I'm just going to click don't do that and finish. And I should be able to launch that wallet again, same shortcut and all that stuff. Yep, and see now it says 17.19, so it's the latest version. Takes a minute to start, but it will come up and say, you know, it'll ask for the password and all that stuff. So. So just putting in the password. Maybe. Okay, so we're going to check the version here, 17.19, looks good. Fully synced. Looks the same here, But I think whenever we go to history, maybe. Yeah, see, remember before it was just transactions and generated links? So now it's print e-statements. So now you can print statements out of here, and obviously that will help with taxes and things like that if you needed to do that kind of thing. Again, you know, they're looking, you know, this project is they're focused on bringing the traditional banking features to blockchain, you know, this crypto project, right? So, you know, this is just one more thing that they are doing. And then on the mining side, I don't know if you can tell what version of T-Rex they have, but I think that he's got the latest one in here. But I don't have a card that will work with this. I always think that is hilarious. Okay, so one-click mining inside of the wallet as well, so that's kind of neat. I think that's about it for BitCash, but again, they are upgrading or forking to X16R v2 tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. I guess. So if you're mining it, you're going to want to change to the new algo. I'll probably maybe tomorrow morning I'll check it out and see. I'll go to miningpoolstats.stream and check it out and see if it's listed as X16R v2 and all that. This one you could probably, you know what I could do? Oh, this will be cool. I could mine it and I could set up T-Rex to go ahead and do that auto switching thing, right? Using those parameters that we were talking about earlier. And I could just do it on this one. So I'll just copy this. It's my address. I already have that in there, but yeah, this will be cool. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna set this up, and I'm just gonna let it mine BitCash tonight, and then auto switch tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Probably already have a white sheet, NVIDIA, T-Rex. I'm going to apply that. Come over here and go to white sheet, edit. Might want to check my wallet here. Let me do that before I get too far here. I want to check to make sure that the wallet's the same. I haven't done anything funny with wallet. Same. Okay. All right. White sheets. Is it already? Yeah, see, it's already mining BitCash. Okay, that's good. Come over here and go to flight sheet. We're going to edit. So it looks like I'm using a non-standard pool, or one that's not in HiveOS already. Yeah, because I'm using ice mining. Okay, so now if we were doing this for real, I mean, and we are, because I am going to set this up, I would need to go to ice mining and make sure that they are supporting this upgrade or this fork, right? If I go here, let's see if he's got any notes or anything over here. No. Okay, got nothing over here. No info, so I'm wondering if I'd probably need to hit him up in Discord to see. I'm just firing up Discord real quick. I'll go to his Discord and see if I can quickly search for anything related to BitCash fork. Well, for sure I was already in his Discord, but I guess I wasn't. All right, so okay, so he says that they will be supporting X16R v2. Sort of. Let me. I mean, obviously this is public, so I'll show you guys what he's actually saying here, which kind of goes along with, you know, kind of goes along with what I was saying earlier. So, yeah. I like when folks shoot straight, but it looks like it says that he will be supporting X16R v2. But I don't see any notes on here about it. So what we could do is you could go to, let's see what other pools, see if we can find one that actually is saying that they are, you know, has notes on it, or more information maybe. Go to coins. Yeah, I don't like this. I've never liked this pool. Not go there. I don't have V2 listed here. All right. Yeah, so they don't have any notes on here either. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We can set it up and everything, and I'll just leave it like this, I guess. And just kind of hope, I guess. I don't know. So on the extra config arguments section here, that's where we need to get into. Remember we did, let's see if I can find it. Actually, I think I have it over here. So the first thing that we had to do it doesn't really go through the settings. What was it? No. You'll have to remind me. I think it looked like this. No watchdog. False. Then we had fork at and then in this case it's going to be a little different than what we had earlier, because this is what we had earlier and this was for Ravencoin, right? So we're going to be going 10 1, what is this, 10-1, so this will be 09 28, right? Is that what we said? 28, because it's tomorrow. Let me make sure of that. Yeah, 28 September at 10 UTC. So this is going to be 0600, like that. Okay. I think that's right. Alright, and then down here, use the latest. Okay, good. Everything else is good, I think. So apply changes, update, all workers. What we're going to want to do is we're going to want to do that Hive shell start thing and watch it, right? And restart the miner and watch it start up and make sure that we see that, basically that successful line that says that, you know, what it's going to do in the morning whenever it switches over. Actually, what I want to do is go miner. Yeah, miner. So we should be mining already, and we are. Okay, that looks good. So then we'll come in here and we are going to restart the miner, switch over to here, and we should be able to see it stop, and then I'll go to miner again. Right away, and then we'll watch the miner actually start up. Hopefully y'all can still see this. Yep. And then, okay, right here, boom, fork has been requested Saturday, September 28th at 06/2019. Algo will be changed to X16R v2. So I think that we are good to go on that. So that'll be kind of neat, because in the morning I'll just check it and see, you know, what's going on and see if it's working. So that'll be kind of neat. and that'll actually give us a test, you know, prior to the big Ravencoin change, you know, but we're going to use little old BitCash for that, for the test. So that's kind of neat. Well, that is about an hour and 20 something minutes. I think I'm going to call it a night. That was a pretty good Fireball Friday, I think, even though I know I was covering things that we kind of covered earlier in the week. But I did go a little bit a different direction and definitely updated, because there's been some, you know, new miner releases and new features and stuff like that since then. So yeah, that was cool to cover all that. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys had fun. Hope you guys, whoa, what happened to my camera? Hope you guys had a little bit of, maybe a little bit of drinks, possibly. Guys, change my gain here a little bit. There we go. All right. So I'm still drinking. I got my Fireball sitting right here next to me and everything. So I'm probably gonna relax, kick back, and watch some movies maybe. I don't know what I'll do. We'll see. But in the morning, I'll check that. Maybe I'll tweet about it and let you know what is going on, whether or not it worked or not. We'll see. See what happens. I will see you guys later. I'll let y'all get back to your weekend. Have a good weekend. That's it. Stay savage.